they and their husbands availed them nothing whatsoever against Allah. وَقِيلَ ادْخَلُوا النَّارَ مَعَ الدَّاخِلِينَ, and it was said to them, enter the fire along with the enterers. Although they were wives of two messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ himself used to gather the women folk, close relatives. Then he should address each one by name. Ya Fatimatu bintu Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, anqadhi nafsaka min an-nar, fa inni la amliku laki min Allahi shay'a. O Fatima, the dear daughter of the Messenger of Allah, you have to save yourself from the fire of hell. I will not have any authority about you on the day of judgment. Ya Safiyatu ammatu Rasulillah, anqadhi nafsaki min an-nar, fa inni la amliku laki min Allahi shay'a. O Safiya, the maternal aunt, the paternal aunt of the Messenger of Allah, you have to take out yourself from the fire, save yourself from the fire. I will not have any power, ever authority about you on the day of judgment. So every human soul is independent and responsible for his or her deeds. Conversely, there is the example of the wife of Fir'aun, Asiya. The name is not given in Quran, it is in Torah. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا امْرَأَةَ فِرْعَوْنَ, and Allah has struck a similitude for those who believe, the wife of Fir'aun, when she said this, قالت رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِندَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ, O my Lord, build for me a house in the garden in thy presence, near you. وَنَجِّنِي مِنْ فِرْعَوْنَ, and deliver me from Fir'aun, وَعَمَلِهِ, and his doings. وَنَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, and deliver me from the evil-doing people. Now she was living in a palace, wife of the emperor Fir'aun. But she had a different way. As we know, she was an Israelite, and she was taken to the palace, and the emperor took her as wife, and she reared Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. She was so righteous and pious woman. But she was not happy with Fir'aun and the attitude and what Fir'aun was doing. So this is the example absolutely opposite. There the two messengers of Allah, Nuh and Lut, and wives, going to the hell. Here Fir'aun, who is going to the hell, but the wife Asiya was a very righteous woman. Now the fourth example. وَمَرْيَمَ ابْنَةَ عِمْرَانَ الَّتِي أَحْسَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا, and the similitude of Maryam, daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity. So, فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا, we breathed into her our spirit. وَصَدَّقَتْ بِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّهَا, and she testified to the truth of the words of the Lord. وَكُتُبِهِ, and his books. وَكَانَتْ مِنَ الْقَانِتِينَ, and she was a very devout woman. Now this is the example where the woman or the girl herself was very pious. And she was in the custody of a very pious person, Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is Nurul ala Nur. Now there is one corner is vacant here. Worst women in the homes of the best people, wife of Lut, wife of Nuh. Best woman in the house of worst man, Asiya. Best girl or woman and under the custody of a very pious and good man, that is Zakaria, she is Maryam. Now the worst woman in the home of the worst man, that fourth position is vacant. But that is filled in Quran, in the last part, in Surah Tabbat Yada Abi Lahab. Abu Lahab, worst enemy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his wife Jamil, also the worst enemy. We can't say which one of them was more, bigger enemy to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam than the other. So this is Nurul ala Nur, Maryam, and that is Zulumatun, Ba'duha fawqa Ba'd, and that is Jamil and her husband Abu Lahab. Now here we end with the group of 10 Madani surahs. This was the 6th Makki Madani group which ends here. Now the last and the 7th Madani Makki group starts with Surah Al-Mulk. And this is mostly Makki, 2 parts of the Quran. Most of it is Makki. A very few surahs in the end you will find Madani. Just the converse of the first group. One surah, Suratul Fatiha, Makki, and 6 parts, Suratul Baqarah, Al Imran, An-Nisa, Maida, Madaniyat. So it's the converse here. Now mostly this group is occupied by the Makki surahs and very few, very little Madani surahs. And here also, as it was in the third group of the Makki surahs, there are subgroups of 3 surahs. One solitary, 2 in a pair. Suratul Mulk is solitary. Then Surah Noon and Surah Haqqa will come as a pair. And so on, we shall see. Suratul Mulk, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tabarakalladhi biyadihil mulku wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Blessed is he in whose hand is the sovereignty. Mulk. Wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. And he has power over everything. Alladhi khalaqal mawta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. Who created the death and life to try you, which of you is best in conduct. Wa huwa al-ghafur al-azizul ghafur, and he is the mighty, the forgiving. Now you see here, creation of death is mentioned first, and then of life. Normally, if you think, life should be mentioned first, and then death. Here, death first, and life later. Why? We have already passed that first death, when we were created in the form of spirits, and then first death overtook us, and then we were revived when we came in this world, in the wombs of our mothers. Then our ruh was blown into us. So actually, death has preceded life. One death we have already gone through. The other death we are waiting for. That is coming to us. خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allama Iqbal has translated it, so to say, in a very beautiful couplet. Kulzume hasti se tu ubra hai maninde habab, is ziyan khane mein tera imtihan hai zindagi. It's a period of testing. Alladhi khalaqa sab'a samawatin tibaqa. He who created the 7 heavens, one above the other. Ma tara fi khalq ar-Rahman min tafawut. You will not see in the creation of the compassionate any disparity or any flaws. Farji'i basara hal tara min futur. So extend your gaze. Look, do you find any flaw? Summarji'il basara karratain. Then return your gaze again and again, and yet your gaze will come back to you. Yanqalib ilayka al-basaru khasiyam